Hi. Um, I thought I would just send out a little message today, Sunday. I I'm sure, like all of you, you've been watching the marches around the world now, and how impressive is that? And one of the thoughts that occurred to me was the quote by Victor Hugo: "Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come." And certainly, as I watched all of these incredibly courageous human beings motivated by this, by by certainly the death of George Floyd and the desire for a much better society, one that is less violent and benevolent toward people of color, less frightening. Um, something something felt so hopeful to me. Something felt as if, we've seen marches before, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. It's as if there is this time something in the air, something that says the forces of light are behind this. Um, and maybe it's because there are so many cracks in the cosmic field. We feel the economy shifting, the presence of the virus. There's so many ingredients, excuse me, that are shaking people, shaking us to our core, and that have made us psychically, emotionally, spiritually vulnerable in a way that viewing violence toward a human being, because we've seen this before. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen Rodney King. We've seen it before. But somehow, maybe the virus, maybe the collapsing of the economy, maybe these years of feeling the fabric of our collective world fracturing year after year has created a field of vulnerability and the definite rise in a sense of militia in the police. As we observe things, in our society, we can sense a growing fear and hostility out there. And then to see it, we have sensed a turning of the tide. And I know that I have sensed in myself that this shift of feeling that the that the population's becoming the enemy and not the population of it's a different kind of feeling that something had to give. Something had to give. And as I've taught and will continue to teach, this is the era of choice. The power that people have within them to create a very different world. A very different world. But something always has to make us realize we have that power. It's the same thing, when you don't realize how much power you have as an individual till something puts your back against the wall. Maybe it's an illness, maybe it's the loss of a job, but complacency, when you get too comfortable, it's not your friend. It's really not your friend. I mean, if you think about being a captain of a ship, calm waters takes the edge off your skill, takes the edge off your instincts. Someone becomes you really become superb at who you are, superb at your skills when you're in rough waters. Your instincts become so sharp when you have to use your instincts, when you have to become quick at decision making, not when you become complacent. When you become complacent, you turn yourself off. You begin to think that calmness is a way of life. You begin to believe the illusions that life doesn't change, that in fact this is the way it's supposed to be. You forget the nature of life, that the nature of life is chaotic change, and then a season of maybe calm, but then the storms kick in again. It's not personal, it's simply the cycle of life. And it keeps your instincts strong, and it makes you come back to your interior life to get on your guard, because you're not supposed to get attached to things as if they are permanent. You know what darkness counts on? Darkness counts on you believing that nothing will ever change, that you getting too comfortable. One of the things that darkness counts on is arrogance, the belief that there is no darkness, that you're an exception to the rule. And what darkness fears, and that's one of the things I just cherished in watching these marches and all these wonderful people, is a commitment to the betterment of humanity, is a focused commitment to the betterment of people. I wasn't surprised at all that they were, those renegades, what were they called? Like white supremacists, and those renegades being sent in there to do destruction. They'll always be that. They'll always be opponents to darkness. They'll always be that. Just like there's an inner saboteur in you that will oppose anything positive that you get an inspiration to do. The dark will come and try. Some saboteur part of you will say, you can't do that. You're not good enough for that. You'll set up your own little battlefield inside of yourself, because that's the way light and dark work. We always have to work to empower ourselves. We always have to. But this is a turning point. This is a turning point. And I suspect that the elevation of a little more light is going to be felt in how people treat each other. And I suspect the dark is going to do a lot to damage that. Both are going to be true, because that's how it works archetypally. That's how it works. It's always been that way. So stick to the light. Know that somehow the wheels of change are working so fast, so fast. We are living history, and it's a privilege to be alive now. And work from within yourself. Every choice you make now matters. Every single choice you make, everything, even from your couch, the choice to just close your eyes and say, bless this, just pour grace into all those people, keep them safe and give them courage. Prayers like that, you have no idea how much that helps. So turn yourself into a fountain of grace and just let it pour through you. Just picture yourself just dwelling within the field of God, that all of this is the divine field. And that when you turn yourself into that channel of grace, you're just channeling it into this field of the divine, and just channel away and become that being of light. What a wonderful thing to do. What a great contribution. Okay, so thank you. Talk to you soon.